So I wanted to talk to you today, real quick video, it's very important, about vacationfundraising.org. Scotty Patenti, who actually used to run a branch for us in Massachusetts, he had some other endeavors, went down to Florida, and he's been building this company, and it really fits what we do as a company. Meaning when we go into an event, we want them to get the best fundraising effect for their dollars. And we talked about why sports memorabilia doesn't work that well for Funny for Funds. It's good in other areas, but for what we're doing for Funny for Funds, it doesn't work. But this works. Reason why is people want a vacation, people want to get out there, people want to save some money, and vacationfundraising.org will give back 50%. So overall, the auctions that night that we do silent auctions, if they raise $2,000, $1,000 goes back to the event. So I want to spend today, I've had a ton of success. I've been doing this since late November. We started with like a soft trial and started working with Scotty and doing a ton of phone calls and a ton of work to hone this to make it fit perfectly. As an added benefit that makes us different in the industry. There's nobody doing what Funny for Funds is doing. So feel proud about the company that you're with and how you can help event coordinators. We actually just had a recent show, I believe it was in one of the Massachusetts branches, where they made $2,200 total on the auctions, which means $1,100 goes back to the event. So when you think about it, you can offer something to an event coordinator that they get for free from us, that we maintain and run for them, that could actually pay for us. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. So if you take this serious, not only can you get repeat business because of what you bring to the client, but you can also make some money back under your roof at the same time. So not only will you be making money on your Funny for Funds shows, but you can make money on a monthly basis, all right? We pay out on a monthly basis. It's roughly 15% of what Funny for Funds or vacationfundraising.org takes. So if a trip goes for $400, $200 comes to vacationfundraising.org, and we get 15% of that. And proof is we finally really started to hone this last month, and some of the numbers, Philip Boris made an extra $57. Amanda Lawrence, $466.50. So if anybody wants to beat that record, you can go ahead and beat that record. Deb Charette and Sue, the Dalton Gang, $84. Tom Stewart, $120. J.R. Adams, $314. Pat Collins, $20. Mike Murray, $145. And myself, I made over $1,000 on this the last few months. Why? Because I really wanted to hone it to bring it to you guys. To be sure that everything works smoothly and to really understand it on a full capability so that you know exactly what to do, how to do it, what to say, any questions, that come up, you know how to answer. So I'm going to give you everything I got today in this quick video, but real quick. So the site that you're going to look up that I'll show you later is vacationfundraising.org. That's where you're going to print out your destinations and silent auction sheets. If you want to email Scotty, it's solutions@vacationfundraising.org, and these are his contact numbers. So branch managers, people who pinch hit shows, anybody Funny for Funds related in our company under our umbrella can use his cell phone. Everyone else, if you have an event coordinator that has a question that wants you use the work number, the 508 number. That's for the fundraising clients or anything specific for people going on the vacations, okay? So having said that, I'm basically going to walk you through everything that I've done in the last 2.5 months to make over $1,000 extra back into my household. So thank you very much for watching the video. Watch it over and over and over. I'm going to give you everything I got. So here we go. The initial phone call, when you send out the pep rally video and they call you back and they want to do a show and you're in the mix of what Funny for Funds offers, the secret to what I've been doing is you have to understand that in any business, people buy you. They're not buying so much just Funny for Funds, what we do. They're buying you. So tone is everything. If you're monotone, learn how to be unmonotone when you're on the phone. Get excited. Nobody wants to follow a dull, disillusioned leader. It's not going to happen. So if you want to get excited about this and make some extra money and build your own branch, you got to get excited. People follow excitement. You have to have some vision with this project. And so the vision I had was I'm not even going to offer it to them. It's just what I bring. When you hire Bill Simus and Funny for Funds, I'm coming with vacation packages. and I'll set it up, and whatever goes. Now, I explain it to them, of course, but this is just what we do. It doesn't cost them nothing. If I set it up and nothing goes, it still doesn't cost them nothing. And I've had people where when I show up and I'm setting up, I'm like, check this out. We got this, here's how it works. It's unbelievable. You're going to love it. I've had, last night I was Danbury, Connecticut with Larry DiGregorio and Roman Pierce, and he actually, I just brought it. I was just headlining the show. It was his branch. I brought what I'm about to show you, and I just started setting it up, and I talked to the event coordinator. I said, how do you feel about free money? And he's like, I love free money. What do you got? And I said, I brought my silent vacation packages. It's going to be unbelievable. Anything we raise tonight, you get 50%. We had a show a few weeks ago, almost paid for our Funny for Funds fee just by what we brought. Follow my lead and just roll with what I'm doing. And he's like, let's do it. So if you just, you're not asking, but you're doing it in a loving way where you're adding a benefit where they will follow you. You're the professional. Tell them what you're doing and they will follow you. Will there be outlying circumstances where they just don't want it? Sure. But that's not even in your thought process when you're talking to them. And you always got to be ready. Be ready. So I have this backpack here. It's always in my car because when you're setting up shows, we all have our different life situations that get in the way. But inside the backpack, okay, I have the stand-up. They're already printed and ready to go. I have all the stand-up sheets. Now listen. I never even counted, there's probably like 20 different opportunities, 25 for vacations, right? So that you can print out. I ordered the stand-up plastics off Amazon. It'll probably cost you $80 or something with shipping for like 12 of them. Do 12. Why? Because you always want to have as many vacations as possible. I think the biggest mistake people make is they look at something like Atlantic City or Vegas. It doesn't matter. I'll just pick one. Stockholm. This happened last night. Stockholm, Sweden. And they're like, well, if you don't have an interest in Stockholm, doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. And when I brought it out last night, I heard people clamoring that someone had a family member that lived in Stockholm, Sweden, and she bought the trip. So I don't care if you print out 20 of them. As long as you have room to put them out, because you don't know what's going to resonate with somebody. Don't just be like, I'll bring 4. Because guess what? If I don't bring Stockholm last night because I feel like they don't want it, I just lost out on 15% of $100 because it went for $200. So I just lost $15. Doesn't seem like much, but if that happens 10 times, I just lost $150. Think this through. Get as many out there as possible. So I have a bag ready to go with 12 of them at all times, right? So I bring these 12 with me and I set them up, and then also inside the bag, I have the rules sheet. Very important. You have to put out the rules sheet. They have to know how it works. On top of the messages that you're giving to people throughout the night, they have to be able to read it on their own when they're coming up with their wife or spouse or friend or girlfriend or whatever, that they can read it on their own as well. And I just print out and I'll show you how to do this later. I print out the silent auction sheets. Lay them out in front. I've seen sometimes where people don't use the plastic sheets. And listen, I was victim of this too, but I'm telling you, I've done it, I've changed, I've seen what works, what doesn't work. They usually just have this sitting flat and this sitting flat, and from a distance, nobody can tell that there's something to offer. Pay the $80, throw it in a nice sheet, and this sits in front, and start grabbing some pens. I have a bag of pens that they just sit up, right? I'll even send a Brad, who's videoing this right now, some pictures that you can see how the tables look. And that's it. And you just set up, right? One by one by one with the pens. And then in the middle, if I have 12, I do 6. You put this in the middle and then the other 6. So it's nice and centered. And just in case the event allows me to tape it, I have tape in my bag. And I put this on the wall and I squeeze these in together with 12 straight. You gotta be ready to go at all times. And you can set this up and then you start making the announcements. And the event coordinator is gonna love you, because even if you made an extra $600, which is about the average when you do it right, that's still 50% of what they would have owed us that they make. You're giving back, right? So be different, get excited, and we'll go on to the next step. So check this out. These are tables that I have. Listen, if you have a truck like I do and you have extra room, I actually bring tables to my show just in case they don't have any, right? You always want to be prepared. But if you don't have it, that's fine. Just let them know I need a table when you get there. But how I set it up, if I can't tape the rules sheet to the wall, I set it up like this with pens ready to go. Even as simple as making sure the pens are clicked and ready to go, right? Speed, and precision. And this, instead of throwing down here, optics are everything. I slide this up to kind of cut it through the center, because now they're looking like, well, why is that up there? So it draws them to what's different, so they start reading. And also, when you see people hovering at your table for vacations, I'm going to tell you how to make the announcements, but I always go up and say, I'm not sure if you had heard me make the announcement. Do you mind if I explain it to you? And people go, yeah, great. Sometimes I'm on the mic 4 or 5 times making announcements, maybe a half a dozen about this, but I'm at the table a lot, telling them it's not a timeshare. It's this, and I'll get into the announcement in a second. And then you see people go, oh, all right, and they grab the pen and they make. So don't be afraid to come over quietly and talk to 3, 4 people at a time, maybe 10 times during the night. How bad do you want to make some extra money? How bad do you want to be different in the community? How bad do you want your Funny for Funds branch to expand? You got to be willing to put the work in. So this is how it looks. This is how it should be set up. And like I said, this is in the center. If you have 6 and 6, 5 and 5, 4 and 4, I always do 6 and 6, and I'll do more if I have a bigger table. And the only other difference is you would squeeze this in and tape it if they allow you to tape it. But very important, the rule sheet has to be there. All right, so now you got your show booked. You got your backpack ready to go for all shows, right? But you're ready to go for this particular show, and you are maybe a day or 2 out. You can even do it the day of. It's not a big deal. But now you want to call Scotty Potenti and get a keyword. And we used to do it a different way, and then Scotty came up with this, and Scotty's always trying to build and grow with us as well. So what I do is I'll call Scotty on his cell, right? Branch managers, anybody Funny for Funds related, and say, hey, I have a show tonight. I'll use last night's example. We were in Bethany, Connecticut for a temple, a Jewish temple. So I said, hey, let's get a keyword, temple, so that at the end of the night, you grab a keyword, and you can make it up. A few weeks ago, we had River Dogs baseball. I just did keyword dogs. Something that when they pay at the end of the night and they click on the link that they need to pay, Scotty gets an alert of what show, what keyword, so he can be sure that you get the credit for it, and things flow that much smoother. So I texted him, can I grab a keyword on the ride down to Connecticut? Maybe a 2-hour ride, and within 10 minutes, he's like, your keyword's all set. So he gave me a keyword of temple, and he just wanted to know what type of show is it for, so he can further categorize it, because he makes like a nice little message, right? And I'll even have Brad zoom in on the message that people get. Now, I just told him it was for a Jewish temple, and the keyword was temple. 10 minutes later, I had a keyword. At the end of the night, all you have to do is have people, and this is on the rules sheet, okay, that they need to make their donation so your event gets paid as much as possible, right? We also have, give me that. We also have some sheets that I will put on your branch manager's site, where you can have on the table, congratulations, you're the highest bidder. Text the word temple to 41400. And then once you receive a text back, click the link and fill out the form to make your donation tonight, okay? You can use these. I've used them, I've not used them, but it's a little added advantage if you feel like you want to organize everything. But all I do is I got the number memorized, right? Very simple, 41400. So when somebody wins and you're reading out the names at the end of the night, I tell everyone, do not leave the room until if I called your name, you come to this table, bring your cell phone and your credit card or your debit card. And guess what? People do it. Tell people what to do and they will do it. You are the professional.